reaction yesterday when you heard about the trades?
I was pretty shocked, but obviously I gotten pretty close with Rashid just the whole period of time we've been working together. He was obviously such a great dude, and Trevor as well. I think those were kind of the first few guys I was able to meet coming here, and just through training camp, all through those time throughout the season. So definitely gonna miss them, but obviously a good opportunity for them, and then obviously the Saints as well.
Can you look at it two different ways? Obviously, you lost two starters, and I guess the positive would be it's an opportunity for more people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously a tough loss, but at the same time, you understand the business side of it and understand what we're trying to do, and I think at the same time, it's a great opportunity for guys to come up and step up in that role and be able to go out there and contribute, and we got to go out there and operate and do what we can do and know what we can do regardless.
Specifically, how do you replace Rashid Shaheed in offensive concepts?
I mean, he's such a versatile threat from a deep threat, the kicking game. He's obviously done a lot of really good things, but I think specifically it'll be a great chance for Devaughn Vele to kind of get some action. And I think, we've been trying to do as much as we can up to this point. I think he's a really, really good player from his skill set. So getting him on the action, obviously Olave, Cooks, Juwan, those guys are going to be getting, a bunch of action as well. So I think we have all the weapons, that we need and to contribute and to continue to go have success. So just finding different ways to figure out, what we can do offensively to complement their skill sets.
What do you think it has in just like production-wise for Devaughn? Yeah. Obviously, like she was there, even though big target.
Yeah. I mean, I think logistically it's tough when you have Olave and Sheed and Juwan and all those guys and Cooks, so on a rotational basis. But I think at the same time there was a bunch of stuff that was schemed to go to him, and sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. It's just football, But I think just him having a little bit of a larger role in the rotation is going to be big, and he's had a huge role up to this point. I know it's not really seen from a fan or social media perspective, just what he's done in the blocking game, the receiving room, like he came in, learned the playbook like that, his football knowledge. So I think it's going to not only continue to grow, but he's such an asset as a guy, not just within the receiving game.
And the touchdown, obviously, you mentioned that was kind of designed to get him isolated. Just having a guy with that size out there, does that just open things up for, obviously you're able to work back.
For sure. I think when you can have, multiple weapons at each spot, that's the tough thing on defenses when you got guys that you got to worry about at multiple positions. And I think he brings that element, just like with Chris Olave and Cooks and Juwan. You got different kind of threats for different reasons with speed, size, versatility. So I think it'll be really, really good to kind of see, all those guys' roles kind of continue to grow. And we got to find a way to put points on the board and, whatever it takes.
Starting fast. How much emphasis you guys place on that, just because it kind of feels like the early goals caught up to you?
Yeah, I think a huge emphasis on that is and really just goes down to details and running the ball and continue to do everything we can to keep the sticks moving, because the Rams did a great job of it. The Carolina Panthers have done a really good job of possessing the ball, them holding on to it, running it, sustaining drives. So we got to do the same, and that starts with myself, starts with everybody, starts with the coaches, starts with the whole team. Just put in a huge effort to continue to move the ball forward.
Kind of related to that, sorry, I'm stumbling through this. This is only your second start, but like the scripted plays, like how does that work with you guys? Like when headset been working well enough, and like how does that whole process work? I'm not figuring out how those first 15 plays.
You're just saying like the first few drives?
When you're looking at starting fast and you got scripted plays going and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it changes week to week. I think there's not necessarily an emphasis. I think the plays that we had were working. We just got short on a few short yardages, and we just got to continue to find the way to run the ball and move the chains a little bit better. And that's me as well, running the ball, finding those checkdowns. I think whenever we're, aggressive but under control, we can find some success there. So. I mean, for me, I like to come out the gate and do everything that we can, just go out there and rip it. And I think it was just good to learn from. You can't you can't have 3 and outs like that.
When you look at kind of how quickly the Panthers have rebuilt with a relatively new coaching staff, do you kind of, see that as, a sign of optimism for you all? Like, okay, well, if they were able to kind of build everything quickly, then we can too. And what have you noticed about how they built their team that has stuck out to you?
I think they're an excellent team. I think they've done a really good job of just responding week in and week out with new great opponents, regardless of the situation or place. So they're obviously a division rival, and we got to get after them because they've done a really good job of, like I said before, possessing the ball. Their defense is really stout. So we got to do our job, and we don't really compare ourselves to the situations of other teams. We know what we can do and what we can be better at and continue to be better at, and that's kind of our main focus right now.
After film review and visiting with the coaches, what do you take away from your first start?
After talking with them and watching the film, I thought it was encouraging just from a decision-making standpoint. I didn't come in there and, like I said before, I wasn't hesitant. My whole goal is to just play each play for what it is. Don't make it bigger than what it needs to be. And that was the great side of it. I think at the end of the day, when you lose and you don't have that many plays, it's a bad taste in your mouth. But it was a great learning lesson for me, just as far as, you only get so many opportunities, and you don't know what play is going to make the biggest difference, whether it's a, turnover, a run, or, maybe a throwaway, stuff like that, where you have to kind of play each play for what it is. And we only had those 3 plays in the third quarter, and obviously you want to have more opportunities there. So that was great to kind of watch that film and kind of be able to get your feet wet, like we said, and continue to build off of it.
When you have that 2 plays, obviously, is it difficult to avoid pressing, trying to make every play more important than it is? Like, how do you manage that?
No, it's more of just there can't be a lack of focus. There's not an emphasis on, okay, I'm going to try really hard to make a big play this play, or I'm going to try to maybe not be as aggressive. It's just you're just kind of playing, and you can't let slack off with focus, and you got to be dialed there because you don't know what may happen, or if that may be the game decider. And that's every part of the field, every game, every offense, defense.
There's a handful of kind of deep sideline throws, making throws made in those games. Is that maybe one of your strengths as a player, and maybe does Kellen incorporate some of that, just knowing that something you do well?
Yeah, I'm always down to throw it down the field as much as we can, and just be able to make plays with my legs or check it down and complement off the run game. But I think that was just kind of what we needed at that point to drive us. Sometimes we need to get the ball out quick and we need to take shots. So I think that at that point we had to get going, and we had to kind of take some more shots to get back in the game, But I think Kellen has a really good understanding of what we're good at, what we're maybe not great at, and what we can get better at. And I think week to week, it's tough because it changes when you have some new guys in there, and obviously you have a new opponent, so it's a different game plan. So I think we're just, we're going to hone in on that from this week standpoint, and then go out there and attack them.
I know when you were in Louisville, you got a lot of leeway at the line of scrimmage to do. How much are you doing? I know you're just starting, but as a rookie, how much leeway are you getting there? How comfortable are you doing that?
I wouldn't say nearly as much, just from that standpoint, but there's quite a bit of just different checks or multiple plays that we have built in, and different ways we can get to certain things. But I think that comes with time and experience and a comfortability with the offense. After years or two. You see some of the levels of guys that. And obviously the guys we just played, Stafford has been playing with in certainly that offense. So I think that comes with time. But I feel great with the offense and super prepared with it. But you can't replace years of running the same play over and over again. And I think that comes with it. And I know Kellen, he's had to do it the same thing, being at different spots. And so it'll be good to kind of just continue to get reps. It's only the second week where you're throwing to these guys, and I think each day I feel better and better.
Is there a learning curve? Maybe that's not the right phrase, but with a play caller and a quarterback, say what you had in college with your coach there, or in past places, you all will get synchronized better the more reps you get?
I mean, yeah, I think that's like with anything, I guess. I mean, you get used to maybe what I like or maybe I'm good at or not good at, or I don't know, stuff like that. I think that's a natural component to it, but at the same time, there's always the element of we got to win the game. So whatever that's going to be, that's kind of what it's going to be drawn up to. But I think being able to kind of watch the game planning perspective, the calling, just Spencer throughout this whole period of time, and then just kind of take it into my own right preparation wise, not really changing much, but being able to kind of see that has really helped me out a lot. And I think just continuing forward is, like I said before, just playing each opponent, each play, each week, taking it for what it is and going from there.
Was the sack a rookie welcome to the NFL moment?
Yeah, I couldn't close my jaw until yesterday, so I had to get some needles in it. That one felt pretty good, but it was almost better. You just don't see it coming, so you just naturally take it, I guess. But from the standpoint of like if you see it coming, then you maybe would change your body movement. But yeah, it was definitely a welcome to the NFL moment for sure. But I was happy to be able to get the ball back and be able to score after. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah.
I mean, seriously, your jaw?
Yeah, it was. I mean, he got right in the face mask, so just right in the jaw. My jaw was like a little bit messed up, but it's all good now.
I want to take hits like that, especially like that one. But when you take a hit in the game, does it maybe settle you down a little bit? Like, all right, I'm going to get hit. I'm not going to be perfect.
For sure. I mean, there's a football aspect to it. From when you're playing like Pee Wee, Pop Warner football, you want to get smacked a little bit, and you want to get popped the pad. So there's always that aspect. But I mean, I'd gotten hit before that, so it wasn't that moment. But yeah, definitely, he made a really good play. I mean, they are obviously a really good D-line, so I knew that's kind of part of it. But you got to just pop back up.
Is there anything you can do for that, or you just had to wait it out?
I got some needles in my jaw, TMJ, that hurt. Yeah, that hurt like shit. So that was rough, but good now. I was lucky. Wasn't too bad, but like I said, part of it.
I feel like I've asked this question to 5 different quarterbacks over the last 3 years, but coming off the field is not typical for a quarterback. Especially coming up to college, I'm sure it didn't happen to you very often. Is that with Taysom Hill taking reps? Is that something you have to kind of get used to? Like, how has that adjustment gone?
I think it's an adjustment, I guess, but like I said, we got to do whatever we can to give the defense a different look and gain first downs and score touchdowns. So I think he brings a really unique element of just multiple threats. He's obviously an elite runner with the ball in his hands. He can throw. He can do a lot. I mean, he's pretty elite at everything. Just catching the ball, I think he's a great element for us, and I think it's just another thing for the defense to think about. And I think I have, nuances of that to my game as well. Obviously, certainly not as good as him running the ball, but I think that's just what he's really good at. And I think any way we can continue to utilize it, and same with all of our guys, we got to be able to do that.
There have been times where it's just like, oh, he's over here now. Like, it seems like he's in a different spot on your play.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of personnel groupings for sure that we have between him and Vele and all the guys. So it's they've done a really good job of kind of mastering the game plan each week, and we gotta continue to do that. And but yeah, I mean, when you're coming back on and off, it obviously it's just part of it. So you just come in there whenever I'm in, and we'll get after it.